What's the aftercare like after the army? Because I know there's been a lot of stuff in the media recently about TV shows and things like that.
I think this is an interesting question because in terms of post-operational tour, as in when I was in Afghanistan, it was actually really good. There's a thing called TRIM, Trauma Risk Injury Management, and basically if you've been involved in some sort of incident, you will usually, it gets determined as to whether you'll do, you'll have, it's like mini counselling, so to speak, from your peers, but it's good because it gets people talking. So I think in that regard, while you are still in your green salad suit, it's really good. When you leave, on the other hand, I think unless you are in that bracket of sort of, unfortunately you've got serious trauma, you just drop off the face of the earth in terms of which at the end of the day, if they were doing that with every single,
resources,
15,000 people leave the military a year. So, that, and especially with the current numbers in the army, it's that's 20%. That's across all services, by the way. But that would be 20% of the army's resources getting taken up by that. So it does make sense, and there is a transition. But again, with that transition, it is a bit of a funny thing for me, because I think if you want to get a job in terms of if you wanted to be a lorry driver or something like that, they can help you get into that. But I would say any on the peripherals, or if you want to get into business, there's very little that actually. But don't get me wrong, there's webinar. There is things, but it's just if it's right for you. If that makes sense. It's, so I'm not it didn't work amazingly well for me, but I know it would be great for others. So I'm not gonna bash it.
Yeah. So when you did leave the army, I know you've written a guest blog article for us recently. You mentioned some issues you had with a particular job role. Was that after you'd left the army? Is that why?
No, that was when I was still in. So that would probably, if I was to say something would underpin the reason why I do the things I do, it's probably that experience. So a really close friend of mine, this is about 6 years ago now, he died, and I was actually going away straight after it for a 7-month stint, and it was how can I put it? You could probably bill it as in the military, the terminology would be a sunshine tour. There was no danger. For me, it was good. I was on I was doing mountain biking, climbing, sailing. I got a powerboat license out of it and all sorts of stuff. So on paper, you'd think, great. Yeah. Perfect. But actually, what had happened was, because it was so sudden, I'd kind of developed a bit of an anxiety about my health, whereby I thought, I was terribly, terribly, terribly afraid that I was going to get, some sort of cancer, or I was going to just, for want of a better word, drop dead. And it was really impacting me. And what had happened was, the person I was working with, as in my line manager at the time, we didn't get on. The person in particular didn't really get on with many of us, I don't think, and that was a few things, but I wouldn't say it was I'm not going to be it was all on him, because inevitably I was acting in a certain way and all that type of thing as well. But I think the thing that underpins it is nobody had a clue what was going. Nobody said to me, "Are you all right? You're acting a bit differently. What's going on?" Now, again, it was just dumb luck that I managed to get through it, because, my wife helped me a lot at the time, because it was one of those things where I would talk to her, but I wasn't talking to anybody else about it. And it was kind of the way she kind of helped me the most was making me understand the logic. Because the doctor, when I went to see him, because what happened was I got a really bad tension headache, so I literally had a headache for about 3 months, and as you can imagine, I'm not getting on with this manager, I'm struggling with this other thing, so it was quite a challenging time. It's one of those things where actually the thing that got me through was logic, in terms of her saying, ask yourself the question, could this be something, the doctors told you it's not going to be a brain tumour or anything like that, but I just couldn't accept it. But then eventually, switching it around, I managed to sort of use self-talk, as I would call it now, and it's something I would always sort of advocate for anybody. It's kind of like having a conversation with yourself where you know. So for me, I kind of repurposed the voice that I had from the past that would be, you know, come on, it's not that hard, let's get going, let's get moving, keep one foot in front of the other, or yeah, you're going to have to move right now because something dangerous is happening or whatever. That kind of little voice inside your head would then be the voice of, do you actually think that you've really got
like
that?
the rationalisation?
Yeah. I mean, believe it or not, for me, actually, I'm probably better. You know, everybody always says that it's a bad thing, but I'd probably be better going on the old WebMD and going, right.
Classic.
It would actually, I think for me, I mean, I don't do it really. I've tried to sort of distance myself from things like that. But, you know, it's, I mean, when I say things like that, like just overthinking, which is, you know, always, again, it's a massive thing because, I don't know if we spoke about, like, one of the things that's a big thing for me is I believe, in fact, I'm going to flip this around. What do you guys think is the most valuable commodity, currency there is? And if you get,
I'll let you guys,
just
we
a
might
quick
have
one.
spoken, but I mean, I know what mine.
Just a quick one.
Like FaceTime, I don't know.
I think, actually, do you know what? Yeah, experiences and stories.
Yeah, stories. I'm a big fan of stories.
I'd just say time. Because you know, it's a limited thing.
I was hoping someone would take that. Yes. So it's good because you know, time is like the quintessential answer of, oh well, your time is short, but for me, I think it's attention, because the way I look at it is, if something has your attention, time just evaporates and goes. So like, that was the thing that I had at that time, was I was giving too much of my attention to have I got it, you know, because like, for example, a great example is like, for argument's sake, if you're driving into work, someone cuts you up. For some people, that could last 4 or 5 hours, and then going,
telling everyone like,
But then if someone poses a question of how much attention are you going to give this, actually, if you think about it, you go, I don't need to give it any more. It didn't happen. I didn't damage any. Nothing actually happened. I just got a bit of fight or flight. And then that was it.
Nice.
So for me, that's what I always say is, you know, it's one of the thing that I talk about quite a lot, and probably from what you've seen, there's a load of things that I talk about quite a lot, but attention, I personally believe is the most valuable commodity that we've got. Don't get me wrong, experiences and time, you know, all these things, they're all very important, but for me, that's the one. Because if another example, again, I won't labour the point too much, but if you've had an argument with someone, and you know when people go, I know they're not even bothered. Well, if that's the case, they've got your attention, they own your mind right now, and they're just cracking on with their day. So who's the winner or the loser in that situation? And that's not to say you need to just let everything roll over, but it's just something to be wary of, isn't it? How much attention do I need to give this?
It's like a form of procrastination, isn't it? By focusing on it, you're not actually moving on in any way.
Of course,
So you're actually like stuck in that moment, I think. So do you either have to confront the person again, or come to some kind of realisation or a form of action? Rather than just talking about it.
As I say, I think the question to ask is, how much attention do I need to give this? Because sometimes you do need to give things attention, sometimes people don't give things enough attention. You know, there's loads of ways of thinking about it, but as I say, for me,
also the attention is like, if you're just looking at something, it's valueless. It has to have like direction. You know, you have to, like you're talking about the WebMD thing. You're actually researching this. That's like a form of attention that has growth attached to it. Whereas if you're just saying, I'm going to sit here and think about
worry.
There's no growth potential there. You're just literally static, aren't you?
And the other thing is as well that's important about that WebMD thing is if you do see something, it's how much attention you're then going to give that.
Yeah.
Because if you see something and think, oh, that's a bit funny, if you can just brush it off and go, well, it could be that, but I could read an article elsewhere that would say it's something completely different. So again, it's being able, for me, I like saying, it's almost like being able to view your life like an action replay almost, or if you imagine something, an out of body experience, you can watch.
Third person almost,
you can, because then, like for example, if you had an argument with someone, first things first, the best argument is the one that you've never had, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. But then it's being able to, if your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, whatever, has said something to annoy you, if you can just go, and then sort of watch it and go, do I need to say that?
Yeah. Is winning actually winning? I mean, that's you win an argument with your wife. Do you actually win?
No,
you don't think you won.
Hell no. That is not a possible thing.
Exactly. So just bringing it back to business, and I know one of the things we've spoken about before is the idea of employees maybe not being physically absent, but maybe they're in the building, but they're not there like themselves.
Yeah,
they're not bringing it. It's not bringing everything.
Yeah.
So how do you apply some of this to businesses, and like how do you, if someone said, Daniel, come and help me, what sort of things can they expect? Would you sit down and talk to them, or would you be talking to their whole team? I suppose. Or how's the coaching sort of work?
I think a giant problem that I experienced in the army quite a lot was the old, from Maslow. If you've only got a hammer, you want to make sure you only are going to encounter nails, or I paraphrase that, but and that's a problem with leadership and management. It's people don't have sufficient tools in order to be able to affect the change. They'll be like, either the big one, this is the way I've always done it, this is the way it was done to me, or anything in that sort of regard. Some people need that firm hand. They will respond better to you being robust and saying you must achieve this aim. But then others, you still want them to achieve the aim, but it'd be more of an arm round them. I think, again, I'm a big believer in coaching culture, learning environment, so if you make a mistake, obviously learn from it, move on. Because the big mistake a lot of people make is this a life or death thing? There's so many people where they lose focus of context and almost the whole of reality, and then if you were to say what was the outcome of that, it would usually be you may lose a few pounds in terms of money here or there, or but in all honesty, the person's going to learn from that experience. So the flexibility of behaviour is a big thing for me, really.
Okay, right. So it's been a very interesting talk, and I mean we're probably going to be doing a double episode because it's been so interesting hearing everything you've got to say, and all. It's a really interesting topic, and it's something we're really sort of passionate about here, isn't it, as well? If people do want to get in touch with you and find out more, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So my website is, it's always funny saying website, isn't it? www.catalyst, then do, as in just all one word, .co.uk. I've got email through there. There's plenty of opportunities, or if not, via LinkedIn. Just Daniel Bourne.
Okay, and we'll drop all your contact details in the description of the video anyway. So it's been great to have you. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks very much.
It's been the SwiftCase Productivity Podcast. My name's Adam Sykes. Thank you for listening.
And if you want to check out some of the things that we do, head over to swiftcase.co.uk or follow us at SwiftCase UK on social media.
If you've got any ideas about workplace conflicts or resolving conflicts, or anything that's happened at your workplace that's relevant to what Dan has been talking about, then leave a comment below.
Okay. Thanks for listening, and see you again next time.